You own a restaurant located in the restaurant district on the south shore of the island that overlooks the estuary and the mountains. People appreciate your consistency in staying open year-round despite the seasonal tourism on the island. The price of meat and produce is an important factor at your restaurant, even more than the quality, but customers appreciate your consistency in the quality and price that you have maintained. You own a tackle and bait shop in town, where you sell fishing gear, bait, fishing clothing, and miscellaneous equipment all year round. You want to support the local economy, but are most concerned about the impact that new industries could have on tourism and sport fishing. You provide some jobs to locals, but full-time employment is impossible to sustain for all your employees year-round. You own one of the several bed and breakfasts on the island. It's very similar to a small hotel. Your business depends on tourism year-round, but especially in the summer months. You would like to see a rise of employment of the island, which would likely increase your clientele during the off-season, but you do not want to pose any threat to the tourism industry. You are an executive at a large oil company that has many offshore drilling sites all over the coast of North America, and you chose to invest in a vacation property on the island in the last few years. You see the economic potential in oil drilling and refining, and identified that there would be an increase of job opportunities for island residents. If more jobs are brought in, the property values would increase, but if anything that detracts from the aesthetic appeal would potentially cause those to decrease. You are aware that there are risks of oil spills and pipe ruptures, especially near the island due to the high storm incidences and strong ocean currents. You own 3 fish farms in various locations on the western coast of the United States and spend many of your weekends on the island in a house that you inherited from your grandparents. You know that fishing for wild fish is an unreliable source of income and for food for the growing population of local and tourists, and recognize that the potential value of introducing a fish farm to the area could supply a steady source of fish. You know your interest in fish farming has strained your relationships with the commercial and sport fishermen on the island, who view the fish farm as a direct conflict of their way of life. As a marine ecologist, you have chosen to come to the island frequently to collect data about the marine environment. Over the years, you've kept a close eye on the delicate balance of the coastal and marine life that surrounds the island. You're also aware that the island has great potential for ecotourism. You're concerned that by adding different types of industries to the island, it could hurt the island's ecosystem. You are a member of the Native American tribe that has a reservation on a small part of the island. By treaty, the tribe is entitled to 50% of all the wild seafood caught in regional waters. The local tribe is concerned with protecting and maintaining their annual catch of wild Pacific salmon, clams, and oysters that spawn in the region. The Pacific salmon is particularly important to our tribe because it's part of their economic independence, cultural history, and traditions, practices, and the arts. As a member of the PTA, you have a young family in public school, and you want to be sure that there are accessible, affordable, and safe resources and activities for families like yours. You're concerned about your family's health and are concerned about the food and environmental contamination that can come from different industries. You are not only concerned about the issue of jobs in the environment, but you're also concerned with issues surrounding the quality of life on the island. As property values decrease, the federal funding and tax support for your school also decreases. You decided to retire and live full-time on the island. Your main reason for retiring here is the natural beauty of the land and the abundance of the birds and wildlife that you like to take pictures of. You've noticed that some local stores have closed recently, and the only medical clinic on the island may close if the population and the economy continues to decline. You've also noticed a decrease in the tree cover and environmental health over the last decade, mainly as a result of the tourism industry. You are a fisherman based out of the main port of the island. Your job is seasonal and your income varies depending on the status of the fish stocks each year. You feel very closely tied to the island because your family has lived there for generations, and that you hope that the family business can continue into the future. You have been fishing these waters since childhood. You're aware of the downturn of the fish stocks, but you're not sure of the cause. Maybe it's poor river, water quality, overfishing, or some other unknown ocean resource. You want to do whatever you can to ensure that the wild fish thrive in great enough numbers that you and the other commercial fishermen can make a living. As a fishing guide, you take sports fishermen out on your boat for a good fishing spot so they can catch their own fish. Because of the seasonal nature of your work, there have been years in the past that have been tight financially because of the decreased catch. In the most recent years, the catch have dropped sharply. As the fish population declines, you have had to take tourists farther and farther out offshore to find fish. You are concerned that if the catches continue to decline, tourists will no longer be attracted to your business on the island. However, because of increased financial constraints, you are considering shifting your profession to something more stable and not reliant on the depletion of fish stocks around the island.